As one passes through the city of potholes, seeing bungalow-type houses, and currency exchanges is common, along with bus stops on almost every corner, unattended adolescents braving the chilly conditions. Chicago, Illinois, or Chi-Town, one of the largest city in the United States, known for their deep dish pizza and skyscrapers, but is among the most violent cities in the country. While Chicago has produced notable talent in sports, it is also a powerhouse in the music industry. The African American culture is deep, caused by the Great Migration sending blacks from the rural South up north. In the south side of Chicago, an area full of hard-working people with a rich history covers the other part of the town, a town full of violence and low-income neighborhoods. This side of Chicago is known for its high crime rate, where the possibility of becoming a victim of any crime is a 1 in 13 chance. In 2011, what was aggressive rap-style type of music, in no time became a way for hoods or gangs to disrespect one another, and one of the key ingredients of drill, which is dissing. Dissing progressed in drill songs to the point the dead were being disrespected in songs motivated by neighborhood beefs throughout the South Side. The disrespect only grew from there. Beefing in the streets soon became popular, as drill rappers would take their mutual hostile relationship online, kicking off the online trend of calling out their enemy.
Look, I still...
Hold on, Duck, listen.
Go ahead, goofball.
No, Duck, listen real quick.
Go ahead, fool. What's wrong with you?
Gangsta, I'm out here.
You not out here, you not telling nobody your low, you scared, bro. You got police.
Meet me at O Block in 30 minutes.
Look, our hood
Meet me at O Block in 30 minutes.
Because you got all the police with you. So
Meet
our
me at
hood
O Block
not
in 30
even
minutes.
hot no more.
It became popular disrespecting your nemesis online. It was common after you or your crew killed someone to go straight to the studio and talk about the person that just died. Some rappers used it to gain popularity and were able to leave Chicago to settle down in other cities, before it was too late. If you want to know more about the drill war in Chicago, you can search for this video on this channel. Welcome back. This is the list of rappers that were able to leave Chicago. Chief Keef is from Parkway Gardens. During their teenage years and while under house arrest, Chief Keef's music videos were met with acclaim, and his rising popularity led to a brief bidding war among labels. Ultimately, Keef signed a major record deal with Interscope Records and later signed with 1017 Brick Squad. Keef also became the CEO of their own record label, Glory Boys Entertainment, which later developed into Glow Gang. On September 5, 2012, Chicago police stated Chief Keef was being investigated for a possible connection to the shooting death of fellow rapper and Englewood resident, who performed under the stage name Lil Jojo. This began after Chief Keef had mocked his death on Twitter, which he later claimed was the result of his account being hacked. Jojo's mother has openly maintained Chief Keef paid to have her son killed.
Who do you think is responsible for your son's death?
Chief Keef.
You believe he, himself, pulled the trigger?
I don't believe himself pulled the trigger. I believe he paid somebody to do it.
Since achieving commercial popularity, Chief Keef has continued to experience ongoing legal issues. Despite being dropped from Interscope in late 2014, Keef continued self-releasing mixtapes through their Glow Gang label. Although Chief Keef had originally planned what would become Bang 3 to be released as their second album, a then track from the album, Nobody, developed into its own project. Keef released Nobody as a full-length album in December 2014. In January 2017, Chief Keef was arrested for allegedly beating up and robbing a producer by the name of Ramsey the Great. He claimed that Chief Keef stole his Rolex watch and pointed firearms at him. These charges were dropped for lack of evidence. But after spending so much time away from Chicago, Keef stopped participating in the STLEBT and O Block war back in 2014 and ceased giving performances there. Rather, he is more focused on his business ventures. FYB J Mane is a renegade black disciple from Jero City. He is the cousin of Memo 600, Lil Steve and Lil Reese, but Lil Reese says they not related but they grew up together. J Mane is originally from the Calumet Building's Randolph Towers, was there with his cousin Reese, as well as C. Dye and other black disciples. In 2012 J Mane would be hanging at G Daysky, with several other J-Ro and STL-EBT members when Fredo Santana from Front Street and Lil Reese showed up and started shooting. Allegedly, J Mane would use a woman as a shield to protect himself from being shot and Fredo ended up shooting her multiple times, but luckily no one was killed. J Mane is known to have shot at C. Dye and Rondo No. 9 in 2012. J Mane shot at Chief Keef in 2013, he also shot Tay Savage from Welch World on the nose in 2013. Later on J Mane would join the FBG movement, and began dissing O Block and their affiliates. On December 10, 2018 J Mane dropped 300 Dead Ops in which he dissed several BDs including T-Roy, Blood Money and other Chicago deceased rivals, while taking shots at King Von as well as G Herbo and Chief Keef. J Mane decided to leave Chicago for his own safety to start afresh. Around 2022 he would take a step back from the gang life and start doing comedy sketches and videos on YouTube and Instagram. In 2023 he would begin gaining mainstream attention with people like Chance the Rapper shouting him out. J Mane still releases music occasionally but without dissing dead individuals. Lil Bibby is one of the special ones. He went from getting arrested multiple times on the corner, to making hit records with major artists. He came up on the east side of Chicago, his mother was on drugs and his sister was the one who raised him. When Bibby was 14 he started getting booked for small charges. Overall Bibby has over 60 arrests. Bibby linked up with G Herbo, they eventually began making music together. It did not take long for them to start building momentum. When they released the song Kill Sure, in 2012, it changed everything. The song reached over 50 million views on YouTube. In 2013, Lil Bibby released his debut mixtape, Free Crack. He cited Drake and Jadakiss as two of his favorite rappers. The mixtape features guest appearances from G Herbo and King L, while the production was handled by Hit Boy, Young Chop and the Olympics, among others. Bibby decided to give up rap. Bibby, with the help of his brother G Money, launched their own record label known as Grade A Productions. In 2017, they discovered then upcoming American rapper Juice WRLD after hearing his song Lucid Dreams. Under the label, Juice WRLD released his debut studio album Goodbye and Good Riddance on May 23, 2018. Around this time Bibby was making more money than he was a rapper. He moved out of Chicago around 2013 or 2014, after his fame grew. Coming from the south side of Chicago, Illinois. Young Chop started making beats when he was 11 years old with the help of his cousin. He met Chief Keef on Facebook and went on to produce many of his songs. Young Chop is part of a production team collective called Bandcamp which also includes producer and CEO Bandcamp, Paris Bueller and intern Walda Beats. Chief Keef's Back from the Dead was officially the first mixtape he produced. Young Choppa recently started his own independent label called Chop Squad. Around this time Young Chop had moved to Atlanta. But in the year of 2020, he began to lose his mind as he was getting caught on the other side of the law. In April 2020, Young Chop uploaded a video on Instagram of him firing shots outside his house after people outside were calling his name. On April 5, 2020, Young Chop was streaming on Instagram Live whilst looking for Atlanta-based rapper 21 Savage. Young Chop had already called out 21 Savage publicly a few days before the incident. After returning to the Uber car transporting him, Young Chop claimed that the vehicle was shot at.
Hey, tell us I'm looking for them though. 21 now. Tell them to stop hiding. He got that condo downtown. If they don't know where it's at, I'm gonna pull up on him. It's by Buckhead.
On April 16, 2020, Young Chop was arrested in Gwinnett County, Georgia for violating his probation. He was also charged with aggravated cruelty to animals death after allegedly starving his dog to death in February 2020. Lil Reese garnered attention after appearing on Chief Keef's single, I Don't Like, in 2012. He released several projects that garnered him a large following in the Chicago drill rap scene. Lil Reese was spotted in a video in an altercation with a woman. He later apologized. In 2019, Reese was spotted in a video getting beat up by rival gang members. In November 2019, while driving in the suburbs area of Chicago, Reese was ambushed and was shot in the neck by a masked gunman before fleeing in a car. Reese was taken by an individual where he was in stable condition. Reese survived the incident and released his song Come Outside a month later. On May 15, 2021, Reese and 2 others were injured in a shooting in downtown Chicago. He was grazed in the eye and was transported to Northwestern Hospital where he survived the shooting. Lil Reese claims that he has relocated to Houston, Texas, but he frequently visits Chicago. Rooga, also known as Rooga G, is a gangster disciple rapper from Mo B Scrap Gang. He is known for being Scrap's brother as well as being close with Dooski, Eboy, and other mob members. In 2011, his younger brother Scrap, who was only 14 at the time, was arrested for the murder of Lil Steve from 600. He ended up beating the case but is highly suspected as having been guilty due to self-snitching as well as members admitting that he committed the murder. In 2014, he lost his brother Scrap to gun violence. Rooga at this point took his music career to the next level. He was featured on Kanye West's album Donda in 2021, but lost his buzz after not releasing music for a year. He claims to be blackballed from the music industry. He is known for songs such as GD Anthem, Exposing Me with FBG Butta, and Blickathon. Rooga moved to Atlanta after signing a deal with Kanye West. He is now into the real estate business. FBG Butta is a gangster disciples from STLEBT. He is the brother-in-law of FBG Duck, FBG Brick, and Brick Youngsta. Butta used to be cool with D Rose before the war started. Butta is most famous for being thought to have killed OD, which has turned out to be true. Butta spoke about this in an interview when he wasn't supposed to. J Mane tried to stop him from mentioning it, but he said how he stood over OD as he died. He was with KI. He blamed KI to get himself off the hook, but he was involved. Butta also had a long rivalry with the late King Von, which dates back to 2008 when Butta and the rest of STLEBT jumped Von on the school bus after finding out King Von was playing both sides. He also admitted to wearing fake jewelry. Butta is currently an upcoming drill rapper gaining a buzz in the Chicago drill rap scene. I am not sure if it is true, but according to him, he has moved out of Chicago. He says out of Chicago he can focus more on his music.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're still living in Chicago?
Nope.
You're not living in Chicago?
Nope.
King Yella is a prominent and successful personality who has done a decent amount of work in his career and has released several singles, which has become a massive hit. He is known for singles like Ready Set Go and How I Do It. He is a rapper and songwriter who has done decent work in his career. Making his debut in 2010 with the single titled Swag Check, he came into mainstream media. Later, he released several mixtapes, singles, and others. However, he has served most of his time in and out of prison. He is still a rising rapper who is finding his form back from his YouTube channel. Yella is a member of the Gangster Disciples set. He joined the FBG movement, and he was cool with Duck and Brick before their passing. In the summer of 2016, while Yella was in Chicago filming a music video, a car pulled over and someone got out. The person started shooting, hitting Yella a few times. Fortunately, Yella managed to escape the blow. Yella moved to Vegas to be far away from his ops. He began pushing for all Chicago gangs to unite. Famous Dex was one of the most unique artists from Chicago to blow up in the late 2010s. He was born in Harlem, New York, but his family decided to relocate to Chicago and settle in the Inglewood neighborhood. His father would be arrested and charged with a bunch of gang-related crimes when he was young, leaving him to be raised by his mother. Dex decided to jump into the streets at an early age. He became interested in the rap game. He started rapping under the name Black Migo Mex. Dex got connected with rappers in the area like FBG Butta and Billionaire Black. In 2015, he self-released his first mixtape, Never Seen It Coming. Later in 2015, he released his second mixtape, Dexter's Laboratory. Around this time he already left Chicago, his name was buzzing in the street. In March 2016, Dex announced that he was officially signed to Rich the Kid's label, Rich Forever Music. Shortly thereafter, Dex and Rich released their collaborative effort, Rich Forever. Rico Recklezz, a Rooga World affiliate, was a Black Peace Stone all his life until he formed his own gang, which he now refers to as the Recklezz Renegades. Rico started rapping in 2012 and dropped his debut mixtape, Rico Don't Shoot, soon after. Rico has released over 18 mixtapes in all. He has been known to be one of the most rude guys in Chicago. He was imprisoned in 2013 and freed in 2015. He dissed the entire Chicago in a 2016 remix of Tupac's Hit 'Em Up beat, which has received over 6 million views on YouTube. In Chicago streets, his name started to ring. Rico beefed with rappers like FBG Butta and Soulja Boy. He made the decision to move to Texas once his music career took off. He packed up and left Chicago. Before he became viral on social media, Billionaire Black was a member of the rap group Buck 20 Brick Boys. Black made a mark in the industry with his single, No Action, featuring FBG Butta and Play Around, featuring Lil J and P. Rico. Apart from his solo musical career, Black is also the original member of the internationally acclaimed rap group Flyboy Gang. His love for music spans across outlets and is shown especially in his self-released mixtapes, Call of Duty, Dead Ops, and $Billion Man. Black doesn't play by the rules, and his fans love that about him. He is an inspirational figure in the music scene of Chicago. The name Billionaire Black is a motivational anthem for him. Black has taken the mantle of creating and popularizing the drill movement in rap. Breaking into the highly saturated Spotify club isn't easy, but Black is determined to grow his audience, which stands at over 23,000 average monthly listeners right now. Black left Chicago after his career took off. He moved to Vegas. Lil Wop is the cousin of rapper Famous Dex. In 2016, he moved to Atlanta from Chicago by a suggestion from his little brother. As soon as he landed in Atlanta, he managed to join with 21 Savage and Ruby Rose. None of them were yet famous. The person that connected Lil Wop to 21 Savage was Man Savage. Lil Wop also became close with Trippie Redd. In 2016, Lil Wop released his debut mixtape called Wopster. The following year in 2017, he dropped his mixtape Wake and Bake. In the summer of 2017, rapper Gucci Mane signed him to his record label 1017 Eskimos in a joint venture with Alamo Records. Under Gucci Mane, Lil Wop released his single, Got Cho B, with his cousin, rapper Famous Dex. Later in the year, 2017, he released a collaborative mixtape with rapper Trippie Redd titled Angels and Demons. In October 2018, Lil Wop and rapper Trippie Redd were arrested after allegedly getting into a physical altercation. This came about from a brawl and relationship feud between the two and a local rapper named FGM Grady. Lil Wop was charged with 2 counts of simple battery, whilst Trippie Redd was charged with 3. His fame declined as he was dropped by Gucci Mane, and went back to Chicago. In February 2022, he came out as bisexual via a post on his Instagram account. The following year in May 2023, Lil Wop came out as a trans woman.
Cincinnati Bengals are playing the Rams. We have you're on Instagram, you're posting a half t-shirt And you're saying I'm bisexual, I like females and males.
For sure.
Now, take us through that. What made you post that? Take us through that whole ordeal, that whole situation.
What made me post it? Cause like shit, for real. I was just saying how I feel for real, on some real shit, on some, you know. Don't get me wrong, I ain't out here sucking no.
After coming out as a bisexual, his fame increased. Now Lil Wop is getting more streams than before. He is now back in the spotlight. Memo 600 is from the 600 gang in Chicago, formed by D-Tang and his close friend Lil Boo. Most gangs in Chicago had a lot of members that were interested in rap. O Block had Chief Keef, who was the first to break through the Chicago drill scene. In 2015, Memo 600 began taking rap serious. Around this time he saw some of his friends like L.A. Capone and Rondo No. 9 making waves in the underground drill scene. Lil Durk's brother, D-Tang, signed Memo 600 to OTF in 2019. Then Memo 600 and King Von collaborated on a song called Exposing Me. The song boosted Memo's career to new heights. But unfortunately in 2021, D-Tang will be shot on the head outside a nightclub. He was pronounced dead on the spot. Remember, D-Tang was the one who signed Memo 600. Now Lil Durk is the one in full control of OTF. Durk and Memo 600 were not that close. Durk was not pushing his music or featuring him on any of his songs, so this made Memo 600 to become furious. Memo 600 ended up leaving the label, and went back to independence. He continued to drop music. In 2023 Memo 600 released, We Dat, which has over 1.7 million views on YouTube. He moved to Atlanta to focus on his music career. Montana of 300 started rapping at age 15, and grew up listening to artists such as Tupac, DMX, Lil Wayne, and Jay-Z. Both his parents suffered from serious substance abuse issues, his father from alcohol and his mother from crack cocaine. After witnessing his parents' struggles, Montana ceased using narcotics. In 2008, Montana, his friend from high school, Montel Tally, known professionally as Tally of 300, as well as several others joined together to form the rap group 300. The name for the group was based on the movie of the same name, in which a group of 300 Spartans overcame more than 300,000 Persian soldiers to hold on to their territory. In 2014, Montana released his first mixtape, titled Cursed with a Blessing. The following year, in 2015, Montana made a cameo appearance in the popular television show, Empire. The same year, in December 2015, Montana and Tally of 300 released a collaborative mixtape titled Guns N' Roses. On May 20, 2016, Montana released his debut studio album, titled Fire in the Church. The 18-track release, which only included features from his Fly Guy Entertainment label mates and Kevin Gates, was lauded by XXL magazine for its heat-seeking bars and thought-provoking metaphors. The album peaked at number 95 on the Billboard 200. Montana moved out of Chicago before he blew up as an independent rapper. He relocated to Peoria. Till this day Montana is an independent rapper and says he is financially strong and happy. 600 Breezy aka Antonio King is a black disciple of the 600 faction. He was a gangster disciple until he flipped black disciple around 2008 to 2010. He was close with deceased members such as D-Tang, L.A. Capone, Edie, and King Von, as well as living members Bukit C. Die, Rondo No. 9 and others. He is considered by some to be one of the founders of 600 along with D-Tang and others. In the mid-2010s Breezy was known for beefing with rappers from New York City and South Florida such as XXXTentacion. Around 2016 to 2018 he was offered a feature by Drake but turned it down for some reason. Breezy was brought into hip-hop by fellow gang member and artist L.A. Capone, who was later killed in 2013. Breezy said in an interview that Capone was a huge inspiration to him.
So it's like, that's the reason I started rapping though. Like, I started rapping because my ops was dissing him and I felt like it wasn't doing it, like they wasn't dissing back, they wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like they wasn't repping LA how I wanted them to, so I made Don't Get Smoked. You see, as soon as the song come on, I scream, LA!
He titled his mixtape Breezo George Gervin, Iceman Edition after NBA Hall of Famer George Gervin, and planned a 2016 album called Views from the Six after releasing a mixtape called 6-0 Breezo. Breezy really plugged into the scene when his vocals showed up at the end of Drake's More Life track, Lose You. A few months later he appeared on stage with Drake, Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne at the 2017 Billboard Music Awards. His meteoric rise came to a halt when, only weeks later, Breezo turned himself in for violating his parole and spent 16 months in prison. Now Breezy is no longer gang banging, he relocated to Georgia. In an interview with Vlad TV, he said he left Chicago because he was tired of watching out for ops.
On top of whatever we got going on in the neighborhoods, now they label us gang members or whatever, so now we quote unquote famous gang members. So now my face is known to a lot of people who might got a personal beef with me that I don't know.
Polo G was raised in the Marshall Field Garden Apartments, located in the Old Town neighborhood on the north side of Chicago, Illinois. He is the second of 4 children, having an older sister, a younger brother, Torian, who's also a rapper under the stage name Trench Baby, and a younger sister. After graduating high school, Polo G was accepted to Lincoln University with a broadcasting major, but decided not to go on his first day, opting to pursue a music career full-time. He is affiliated with the Chicago-based gang Vice Lords, which is known to feud with gangs like the Gangster Disciples. Polo G's first song ever recorded was titled ODA, which he released to YouTube. Upon creating a SoundCloud account in 2018, he released the track Gang With Me, which quickly racked up millions of plays. He continued gaining traction with his songs Welcome Back and Neva Cared. Polo G went on to release Finer Things, a song he wrote while incarcerated, in the year of 2018 and quickly gained millions of views. In early 2019, Polo G released Pop Out featuring Lil TJ, which peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's music video gained over 200 million views on YouTube and led to him signing a record deal with Columbia Records. Polo G decided to move out of Chicago when he saw his career skyrocketing. He moved to California. Herbo grew up in Chicago, Illinois. He dropped out of school when he was 16, having attended Hyde Park Academy High School. He is close friends with fellow rapper Lil Bibby, with whom he has collaborated on numerous songs early in their respective careers. Both artists are associated with the group NLMB, which was originally formed from the merger of No Limit, a renegade faction of the almighty Black P. Stone Nation, and the Muskegon Boys, a renegade faction of the Gangster Disciples, although the initials NLMB are also currently used by the gang to signify, Never Leave My Brothers, and No Limit Muskegon Boys. Herbo has stated that NLMB is a brotherhood rather than a gang. Herbo and Lil Bibby first gained attention with the song, Kill Sure, which has since been viewed over 50 million times on YouTube. Herbo and Lil Bibby gained broader attention within the hip-hop community when Canadian rapper Drake called them the future. Herbo's first mixtape, Welcome to Fazoland, was released on February 17, 2014. The mixtape is named in honor of Faison Robinson, one of the first of Herbo's friends to be killed by gun violence in Chicago. In April 2014, Herbo collaborated with East Coast rapper Nicki Minaj on Chiraq. He contributed to Common's album Nobody's Smiling the song, The Neighborhood. Herbo was selected for XXL's Show and Prove segment of the 2014 freshman class issue. Herbo also recorded Fight or Flight, remix, with Chance the Rapper and Common. Around this time Herbo was too big to be hanging out at the block and looking out for ops, he had already moved to California to start afresh. But his legal problems continue. Lil Durk attended a Southside high school by the name of Paul Robeson High School, ultimately dropping out his senior year to be a part of the gang war in Chicago. Lil Durk joined the Black Disciples after dropping out of high school. Soon after joining he began to get into trouble with the law as well as served a bit of time. In October 2011, he was hit with gun charges, including possession of a firearm with a defaced serial number. He later pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of aggravated unauthorized use of a weapon, according to court records. In 2013, Lil Durk was arrested again with a loaded .50 caliber handgun in Englewood on an early Wednesday morning after he threw the gun into his vehicle and locking it afterwards. Chicago police gained a warrant to search the vehicle, found the loaded handgun, and arrested the rapper without incident. In 2011, Durk would start taking music seriously. After plans to sign with Chief Keef and French Montana's labels fell through, he considered rapping as a full-time career after the releases of his two singles, Sneak Dissin' and I'm a Hitta, each of which received generally positive feedback. In December 2012, Durk released the track, called Hell's Anthem, which was remixed, featuring French Montana, as a re-release. He is the lead member and founder of his own collective and record label, Only the Family. Due to the popularity of Hell's Anthem and its follow-up single, This Ain't What You Want, in 2013, Durk accepted a joint venture deal with his collective Only the Family and Def Jam Recordings. After this, Lil Durk went on to become one of the biggest drill rappers to come out of Chicago. He also went on to sign his childhood friend King Von. It is not clear whether Durk moved to California or Atlanta. This comes to the end of this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.